Hello, welcome to VNews Podcast Daily. I'm following today's top stories.
Chairwoman of the Council of the Upper House of the Russian Federation, Valentina Matviyenko, begins her official visit to Vietnam. Prime Minister Win Tong-sun explains socio-economic problems to National Assembly deputies. Vietnam has so far this year exported over 6.6 million tons of rice, earning $3 billion.
The chair of the Council of the Federal Assembly, Upper House of the Russian Federation, Valentina Ivanovna Matviyenko, began her official visit to Vietnam on November 14th. She had talks with National Assembly Chairman Nguyễn Sinh Hùng on the same day.
At the talks, National Assembly Chairman Nguyễn Sinh Hùng stated that the National Assembly will do its utmost to strengthen the Vietnam-Russia relations, making it play a greater role in the Asia-Pacific region. Hùng affirmed that Vietnam consistently holds on a foreign policy of independence, self-reliance, peace, cooperation and development. It diversifies relations and is proactive in global integration to become a friend, a reliable partner and a responsible member of the international community. He also suggested the two sides diversify cooperation channels between the two legislative bodies. Matviyenko said the two legislators need to strongly support the signing of bilateral trade agreements to make it easier for the two peoples to boost economic cooperation. Additionally, Vietnam and Russia should also cement cooperation in education and training to foster the nations' ties, she said. The same day, Party General Secretary Win Fu-chung hosted a reception for the Russian legislative leader. Chung described the visit as an important event that will contribute to fostering the cooperation efficiency between the two parliaments, while boosting the traditional friendship and cooperation between the two countries. The party leader said he is pleased at the sound relationship between the Communist Party of Vietnam and the United Russia Party. He highly valued the role that Matviyenko, as a member of the party's Supreme Council, plays in strengthening ties between the two parties. Matviyenko affirmed that the Russian Parliament and the Federal Assembly will work hard to promote the ties with the legislative body of Vietnam. The same day, the Russian guest was received by State President Trung Tan-sung. Sung stressed that the Vietnam-Russia relationship is a special one and expressed his belief that the chairwoman will pay more attention to ratcheting up the ties with Vietnam. For her part, Matviyenko said she believes the outcome of the talks with National Assembly Chairman Nguyễn Sinh Hùng will contribute to elevating the two countries' relations. She also believes that Russia will become a destination for Vietnamese investors in the near future. At a meeting with Matviyenko, Prime Minister Win Tong-sun said her visit is significant to the reinforcement of the comprehensive strategic partnership between Vietnam and Russia. He also asserted that Vietnam will spare no effort to develop the Vietnam-Russia traditional friendship and cooperation in a deep and effective manner. The Russian guest suggested the two countries exploit potential and advantages, especially in energy, new technology and agriculture, to serve cooperation and development. She also asked for delegation exchange at all levels, while affirming that the Russian Parliament will always support bilateral cooperation with Vietnam. Earlier, the Russian official visited the Ho Chi Minh National Academy of Politics and Public Administration.
President Trương Tấn Sang was pleased with the strategic partnership built between Vietnam and the Republic of Korea. He made the statement while talking with officials from the Republic of Korea-Vietnam Friendship Association in Hanoi on November 13.
President Sang told his guests that the Republic of Korea-Vietnam Friendship Association should cooperate at the highest level to tighten bilateral ties between the two countries. He valued the association's visit in a time when the two countries have been organizing a wide range of activities to mark the 20th anniversary of their diplomatic ties. With 100,000 Korean citizens living in Vietnam and 70,000 Vietnamese girls married Korean men, the two countries have enjoyed closer ties, sharing social and cultural similarities, Sang said. the chairman of the association, Choi Young-ju, said that his association will organize more activities contributing to the advancement of the mutual traditional relations between the Republic of Korea and Vietnam. He and other delegates pledged to exert all efforts to promote Vietnam's image and serve as a bridge for the Republic of Korea firms to increase their investment in Vietnam.
Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng took the floor to explain socio-economic problems to National Assembly deputies during a question-and-answer sessions on November 14.
Prime Minister Dũng assured the deputies that the government will urgently deploy measures and solutions set forth in the National Assembly resolution on socio-economic development plan for 2013. While instructing the building of specific action plans and programs for the work, the government will pay special attention to increasing the exercise of disciplines and promoting responsibilities of those leading the organisational and implementing tasks, Deng underlined. He told the deputies that the government will concentrate on addressing stagnant inventories, handling bad debts, removing difficulties for businesses, and restructuring the national economy. Dũng stressed that bad debts pose a threat to the stability of the whole banking system and the financial market, and they will be dealt with drastically by a proper, tight roadmap. The deployment of unified solutions would bring the bad debt rate back to 3 or 4% by the end of 2015, he assured. Regarding economic restructuring, Dũng said the government had worked out an overall project to restructure the national economy in combination with renovating growth models, saying it will be implemented consistently in all sectors and branches nationwide. The government will translate into deed the conclusion of the third meeting of the 11th Party Central Committee and the directive of the Prime Minister on enhancing the management of investments sourced from the state budget and government bonds. It will tightly control investments made by state-owned enterprises. Dũng told that the government had approved a project on enterprise restructuring, focusing on state economic groups and general corporations. In the meantime, the government is screening the classification of businesses before deciding on the investment proportion it will hold in them and making changes to the structure of state-owned enterprises in key industries and sectors, he said. The government leader asked the National Assembly to increase its supervision over these works to assist the party, the government, the army and people in accomplishing all present goals and tasks.
The Ministry of Public Security of Vietnam and the Federal Guard Service of Russia have shown interest in increasing their cooperation in training guard forces. This was brought up at a meeting between senior officers of two agencies in Hanoi on November 30.
Minister of Public Security of Vietnam Trần Đại Quang welcomed the first Deputy Director and the Federal Guard Service of Russia, Alexander Belyakov, during the latter's working visit to Vietnam. Quang spoke highly of the cooperation between the Ministry of Public Security and the Federal Guard Service of Russia through the exchange of delegations and the sharing of experience in protecting leaders and training the Guard forces. He expressed his wish that, in the coming time, the two agencies will continue stepping up their collaboration in the field. Quang's viewpoints were shared by visiting Russian General, who was earlier greeted by Deputy Minister of Public Security Tô Lâm at the start of his Vietnam visit.
The nation's trade surplus climbed to $64 million in the first 10 months of the year, according to the General Department of Customs.
Total trade topped $187.5 billion during the period, an increase of 12.5% over the corresponding period last year. However, exports rose at a faster pace, totaling $93.8 billion, an increase of 19%, while imports rose by $93.7 billion, an increase of 6.7%. The trade surplus in October alone was $662 million, the customs reported. Foreign invested enterprises accounted for 55% of the nation's export value during the 10-month period, with exports totaling $52 billion, an increase of 36% over the same period last year. Meanwhile, the import value of foreign invested enterprises rose 24% to $49 billion, accounting for 53% of the nation's total imports.
The Vietnam Food Association reported that Vietnam has so far this year exported over 6.6 million tons of rice, earning $3 billion for the country.
Depending on new contracts signed in November, rice export volume can even hit 7.7 million tons this year, the highest figure ever recorded over the past 20 years. This is a reverse of that size spotted earlier this year when exports dropped by 45% in the first quarter. It is forecast that both rice demand and price will be favorable in early 2013. China and the Philippines are Vietnam's two largest rice importers. Other big markets such as Japan, the Republic of Korea and Indonesia are increasing imports of Vietnamese rice.
And this is the end of our news today. Thanks for watching and goodbye for now.